White House calls video of border agents chasing Haitian migrants horrific. DHS promises to investigate. The images show U.S. border agents on horseback chasing Haitian migrants near the Rio Grande, close to Del Rio, Texas. In one photo, a Border Patrol agent leans over his saddle to grab the shirt of a man trying to get away. In several photos, the migrants are carrying plastic bags and bundles of their possessions in their hands as the Haitians tried to climb onto the U.S. side of the river Sunday afternoon. An agent shouted, "Let's go, get out now, back to Mexico." The agent swung what appeared to be a whip or a cord, charging his horse toward the men in the river. This is what Jen Psaki had to say about that. I've seen some of the footage. I don't have the full context. I can't imagine what context would make that appropriate, but I don't have additional details. And certainly, I don't think anyone seeing that footage would think it was acceptable or appropriate. Pressed on whether or not Border Patrol agents should be fired or allowed to do it again, she said, of course, they should never be able to do it again. It was obviously horrific footage. Ilhan Omar weighed in, saying this: the Border Patrol agents' actions were human rights abuses, plain and simple, cruel, inhumane, and a violation of domestic and international law. This needs a course correction and the issuance of a clear directive on how to humanely process asylum seekers at the border. Veronica Escobar, she said, the Border Patrol agents' actions were absolutely unacceptable. No matter how challenging the situation is in Del Rio right now, nothing justifies violence against migrants attempting to seek asylum in our country. I'm not here to try to be a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. But when you see all these people, all these Democrats on Twitter reprimanding Border Patrol agents for aggressively trying to, get these people out of the country, there are 10,000, at least 10,000 of these fucking people under a bridge, and they can just go back and forth. You see all these Democrats reprimanding the Border Patrol agents for saying, okay, enough is enough, we don't want these people in here anymore, and they act a little bit violently toward the Haitian migrants, demanding there be an investigation about how the Border Patrol agents handled some migrants. In the meantime, when one of these migrants kills an American citizen, is there an investigation into who's actually coming in here? How can you come to any other rational decision other than these Democrats? They literally want to replace us. They don't like us. They prefer illegal aliens. They prefer migrants. They want all these people over here, and they want to replace us. That's that. There is no other option. The end goal for the Democrats is having enough illegal aliens coming across the country so that they will never lose power. And even if those illegal aliens, even if they wise up and be like, hey, they don't like us, they just want us, to take over red states and make it so the red states can become blue states. Even if they realize that and we're voting red states because we don't like this stuff either. Even if that happens, it doesn't matter because they've got Dominion, they've got mail-in voting, they've got all this crap that'll ensure their victory. You've seen it with California Governor Gavin Newsom recall, right? It failed because of all the mail-in ballots, and everyone was like, oh, I'm sorry, you already voted. No, I didn't. Oh, it says right here on the machine you voted. They have unlimited power, and there's nothing we can do about it except one thing. We literally have to become violent. We literally have to kill these people. There's no other way around it. These people are not going to leave office. These people are not going to give up their power. It's absolutely fucking insane. There's a couple incidents that can only be solved with a gun, basically. The one I just mentioned about the migrants coming all over the United States in every single state. Border Patrol agents have no other choice. They have to, use a gun because these people are just going to keep on coming and keep on invading the goddamn states, and we have to stop it. And I guess I'll end the video with another example of a problem that we can only get rid of with a gun. Video. Angry mom reads anal sex passage from junior high library book to school board. Mom's mic is cut off, but district pulls book for review. This is from page 39 of the book. Take her out back. We boys figured, then hand on the titties, put it in her corn box, put it in her cornhole, grab a hold of that braid, rub that calico. This is at a middle school library. Alright, not gonna lie, had to Google cornhole because I have the game in the back of my yard. But according to Wikipedia, cornhole is a sexual slang vulgarism for anus. The term came into use in the 1910s in the United States. Its verb form, to cornhole, which came into usage in the 1930s, means to have anal sex. I do not want my children to learn about anal sex in middle school. I want you to start focusing on education and not public health. The final thing she said before the microphone was cut off is, you are not public health officials. You are supposed to be educating our children. Do not teach them about anal sex. So the book is called Out of Darkness, and it's by an author named Ashley Hope Perez. They said it's a young adult novel. This is going on too long, but I just looked up the definition of adult. A person who is fully grown or developed. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say a young adult would be, someone who's 18 years or older, because that technically is the legal age. So a middle school library took this book to distribute to children who are not young adults. Again, how can a reasonable person come to any other conclusion other than a satanic cabal of pedophiles? This person wrote a book for young adults, and the middle school library took it upon themselves to mass order the book and to just put it in their library for middle schoolers to read. Anyway, my point being is that you have to deal with these people the same way you deal with the migrants at the border. You have to kill them. You know what I mean? Because these people, they clearly have an agenda to push sexual content onto children, and we can't have that. And these people clearly aren't going to resign. No one was fired. They're reviewing the book. So if you see one of these people from the school board that there were a lot of people there, they recognized, the school board faces somewhat. If you see any of those people who participated in the mass buying of this book, again, if you're armed, you should definitely take out the gun and just shoot them. Here's the final piece. The station said Out of Darkness is about a love affair between a black boy and a Mexican-American girl amid a 1937 explosion in East Texas that killed nearly 300 school children and teachers. And this is what Jonathan Friedman said. Central Texas is one among many areas in the country that have become hotspots for these eruptions of local anger and disagreement. I think to pretend books that deal explicitly with sex or sexual assault are in some way a threat to young people are doing them a disservice. This is about having access for young people to a wide variety of literature that people from different backgrounds are reflected in. You have a small contingent in many cases of parents who decide that they disagree and that they must know better than those who are in the classroom. Now again, I just read a passage from that same fucking book. It was on page 31. Again, nobody has a problem with a love story between two people. It's about the anal sex part. And if someone's parent, if a parent of a child says, hey, I don't want my kid learning about that, that's the end of it. There is no, oh, you think you know better? Yeah, they do know better, because that the child, the parent, the parent knows what the child should learn about, and that kind of, in anal sex is not something any child should learn about at that age, at middle school age. So again, you have this person, Jonathan Friedman, who I guess authorized the mass purchase of the books. He is defending this stuff, saying he's in the right, the parents are in the wrong. Again, you're not going to convince this person of anything, clearly. My final point is that sometimes issues, they can't be resolved without violence.